Periods. Let's talk about it, okay? And so that's what virgin actually means.
It's just gotta stick together.
What do I always say? Listen to your pussy.
She never lies.
Sister Strain here.
Your favorite feisty feminist filmmaking duo.
You're listening to The Sister Strain. So Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. First of all, happy Mother's Day to every mother out there, any woman who's born children, pet mamas, the mothers out there who just naturally mother their loved ones in every way they can every day. Or pour themselves into their art, their passion, their purpose, and birth all the time.
Creative babies, yeah. And for anyone who might not know this, Carissa and I actually co-conceived a beautiful baby girl.
Love child.
Who will be delivered to the world globally next week on May 13th.
Yeah, May 13th is a really big day for us. So we had to take this podcast interruption to make this one a little more personal. Yeah. I don't know, I just felt a little emotional.
Yeah. Her name is Call of the Blackbird, and she is
our directorial debut feature film. Something that felt like it was impossible or unattainable, or we just couldn't figure out how to crack the code, how to find the funding, how to make it happen. And then we were just like, no,
we're fucking doing it.
We're doing it. We are going to do it.
2 summers ago in May, so it feels very full circle, right? We got, are we done holding hands?
I think we're done.
Is that uncomfortable?
Do we just hold the hands all the time?
No.
It's getting a little sticky. We're a little sweaty.
This is, okay.
Yeah.
Apple.
It's too much.
Apple. That's for another conversation.
Yeah.
That's our code word. But
inside.
no, 2 years ago, we've been pitching a feminist vigilante justice horror film for a while, and got a couple no's, and just got to the point where we were like, our last no for telefilm funding came with the note that we either had to bring some money to the table or show something more, that our directing experience was not competitive enough.
Our feature film directing was not competitive enough. We hadn't directed a feature at the time.
We'd done a bunch of short films and web content, that sort of thing, but had not directed a feature film. We're spinning our wheels with finding funding. We got that no. We were sitting outside sipping some wine.
And I said to Kat...
Carissa had the cockamamie idea.
Yeah. I like to preface, Kat and I are, as I like to call it, cart before the horse women.
Sure are.
We have ideas and we have these grand schemes.
No, we're visionaries. We have the vision.
You have to go close to the mic,
okay.
We have these conversations because I edit the podcast and the mic spikes a lot on Kat's end.
I really like to
does this, and she's got a pretty harsh hitting voice, and I'm like, I'm not adjusting all these levels, okay? Just get back from the microphone.
Which means my voice is very fecund, and it's a lot for the systems to handle.
Yeah. Just talk normal.
Don't say that.
I mean, we don't have to go. The mic, listen, the mic will catch you, okay? Trust it. Have a little faith in it.
So anyway, we were sitting outside sipping wine, got our big old no.
And I said to Kat, what if we just did a film? At this time, we had been working. We came back to our hometown and we were working real estate with our father so we could get ourselves back on track, try and save some money to be able to pour more into our artistic endeavors without having to work so many hours serving, bartending, the stuff that, allows you to be artistic, but also there's no finances to pour into it. So it's like, and you end up giving all your time to it. So
you're exhausted. Creativity.
So anyway... We had, we knew that we had a paycheck coming in, a big close. We had a big close coming in. And so we knew that we were each going to have $10,000 coming in that would be sitting in our savings account. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. We have built our lives around scheming, dreaming, figuring out how we do a lot with a little and how we just make it go. If there's one thing I guess people should tell us something is impossible, because we will go ahead and find a way to do it.
And prove you wrong.
It feeds our fire. So in our typical, like I was saying, cart before the horse girls, we have these grand schemes and ideas, and we're like, I got the carts here. I don't know where the horse is coming from. I don't know
but I know it's going to come.
I don't know how we're going to carry this load, but we are carrying this load. Make no make
The
no
load has
mistake.
arrived.
The load is getting carried. It's only a matter of how.
And the load was a feature-length film that would be our directorial debut that we would write, that we would produce, that we would star in. Produce, might I add, as a team of 2 entirely, wearing all hats and bringing this little baby to life.
And I was like, what if we just use what we have? We have this home here. We've got our parents here with us. Makes it sound like it's our home that they're living in. We're living in their home.
I don't know, some days.
We've got this home. The yard's beautiful. We were taking a lot of therapy walks at the time, and we're like, the outdoors are stunning, especially in the warm weather. Like, we've got a beautiful canvas here.
Beautiful landscape.
We just
and,
need to put a story together. And we're like, what if we keep it honest? If we keep it real? If we talk about all the things that bother us right now, being in our 30s, being childless, marriageless, moving back in with our parents, the frustrations of that, like the beauty and
reimagining the dream and starting again after COVID, which so many people experienced in various different ways.
I don't think our story is unlike a lot of people's stories of like what they're currently going through, especially post-pandemic. So we were
and we've always believed, right, what like truth is kind of stranger than fiction, and it's most authentic and real. And relatable when it's based in truth.
This was over, I don't know, probably like a 3-hour span of time.
At first I was just like,
the first time I said it, Kat's like, no, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not doing a film with no money. That's so much work, and we're not doing it.
Also, it's not possible. Everyone would say that's not possible.
And then over time, I kept just being like, because my little gears were turning. I tend to be, I think, the one that first starts stuff and like really like sits with it, and then I try and like coddle her a little more, like sway her to my
I started getting a
ideas.
little bit irritated. I was like, we're a little bit upset.
Yeah, you were mad. You're like,
no,
I don't
I'm
wanna
just
hear
trying to
about it.
enjoy my night. And I'm like, we'll still in it, but like, could you just stop? Could you just please like get off my back?
Now, speaking of the cart before the horse, months previously,
there was a trailer.
So September, I was like, I love everything like 60s and 70s. And I was looking at trailers on Facebook Marketplace because I sometimes go down rabbit holes there. And I was looking for an old one that I could like refinish and touch up. And in the September previous to this May, I found one, and I convinced my father to take his truck down to London, I think, and like
pick up
purchase
this old beater.
Yeah, they brought it back, and I had this project for myself that I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. I love camping. I love the outdoors. I want something that I own. I want something that's mine.
We don't have a house. We don't have a car. We don't have the husbands and the kids and all the things you're supposed to have. But she sold it as a writer's room to me. It was like, we could have this place that's just ours. We could own something
outside the house where we can do stuff. And I'm like, again, didn't have a car to drive said trailer. But I got the trailer. I got the cart without the horse. And so anyway,
as this conversation is percolating,
I then was
stock
like,
of the trailer sitting in the side
I look
yard.
to the side and I see it, and I'm like, and what if the trailer was part of the film? We need some kind of inciting incident, some kind of thing we're working towards, some kind of thing that gets done over the course of the film.
Which clearly did not convinces me.
No, she was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing construction on your trailer.
I'm not really the type to, I like to craft poems with my imagination.
And that was the kicker.
I don't like to use my hands to...
Eventually she was like, well,
that is the clincher.
Wait a minute.
She was kicking the trailer idea around, and then the night went a little bit further, and I'd been tossing around the idea for a while that I wanted to film little visual vignettes to go with our poetry. We've been writing a ton of poetry for a long time, but more consistently since we moved back from LA to really work through and sort out our feelings about our position in life and the different experiences along the journey. Mm-hmm. And I had been saying for a while, we could just we have such beautiful scenery around us. We could do little visual vignettes and put our poetry with it so that we could get our poetry out there. And I'd been wanting to do that. And I said, this was the final kicker for me, was like, okay, fine. If we do this, you get your trailer, but the film has to incorporate visual vignettes with our poetry. And we have to encompass both of our creative ideas right now.
And I said, that's great. I'll jump on that. And I'm going to take you one further. We're going to do an all-original soundtrack with songs we've written.
Yeah, because we had all these song lyrics. We were sitting around for years.
And we were like, if we are going to do this, if we are going to invest our hard-earned money and give one good kick at the can, let's pull in.
We're going all in.
It's like, let's showcase everything that we do, our themes, our activism. Let's showcase our poetry. Let's do the soundtrack all ourselves. Let's literally make this so when people, we're like, people seem to not be understanding who we are or what we're trying to do here. Let's make it very, very clear to them who the Sister Strain are, what kind of stories that we want to tell, and what we stand for. I hope that we're like, with this project, we will make our voice so clear, no one will question who we are.
There could be no
again.
confusion about who we are, what we think and feel, how we see the world, and what kind of artists we want to be. And also knowing that if we were financially responsible for this film and producing it ourselves, this might be our one and only time. We have no one else to answer to, or please.
We don't have to make a studio or executive happy. We don't have to make choices based on like, oh, they said we can't get the funds for that. We have to do it this way instead. And we were getting a lot of kickback in our film. We made some good strides, the one we were originally pitching for funding, but people were like, well, take the themes out. Take the feminist vigilante justice stuff out.
Take this out. Change
make it sexy, make it this. And we were like, I'd rather take this script to the grave with me than sell it sold to the devil.
I don't want to change it.
Yeah. And so we were like, okay, we could do it. We could do this all our own way.
Yeah. And we said, if you're not in, you're out, turkey.
Yeah. And we decided we were in.
Yeah. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch,
and then a line
from the film.
Yeah. For the rest of the night, trying to mastermind how we could possibly make this happen and make it happen before the end of summer. This was May, right? Early May. We're like, it has to be. Krista was insistent, if it's not within this year,
we're not doing it.
Pretty much just might as well decide that we're doing real estate and we're not doing films anymore. We need something.
I knew. It's like the momentum was there. I was like, if we have to wait another year to get this going, it's like there's so many things that could happen over the course of that year to tell us, like, don't do it. It's hard. It's risky. Like, if we don't jump on it now, grab this bull by the horns, we're never doing it. I just felt it. I felt it in my soul. If we didn't do this film now, we were never doing it. And if we didn't do a feature film ourselves, we might as well kiss our like directing career goodbye because we just wouldn't do it. The opportunities weren't there.
So it was like 3 months of post-production. Mind you, we're also recording the soundtrack at this time.
Yeah.
With an incredible man, Brian Jocks from Cottam.
Yeah.
It was a studio in Cottam, a recording studio, and he's a music teacher. And he made the process so fun and so easy and exciting.
We would send him our voice
ended up
doing like our acoustic guitar, and then he would take
them. On the soundtrack, him and Stephanie Garneau, a girl we knew from high school who also worked with them, a beautiful musician, did accompaniment, like a score.
Oh, the scoring, yeah.
Right, because there's so much poetry and it's so artistic that we needed music throughout the whole.
We were lucky we had some very inspired people that we could kind of call together that were like, that saw us and saw our heart and our passion, and they had the drive too, and they were like, yes, I want to work on something, I want to do something different.
Our parents were lovely of not only to let us use their home as the location, but we convinced them to play themselves. Our brother played himself in a little scene. Our grandmother played herself. We, luckily being from a small town, a lot of different businesses and locations were more than happy to let us film there for free, and
we're
very
happy
accommodating.
To donate a meal to the crew
or bottled water, different snacks and things. We had so much support behind us. We're very lucky. And then, so we had 3 months.
We had to call in favors.
Pre-production. And there was multiple times when we were like hitting roadblocks, different decisions we had to make. And I think the major thing, and what we've taken through it, is we'd stop, we'd look at each other, and I'd say, is no an option right now?
And be like, no.
Then I guess we keep going. We just keep making the next step.
Yeah.
And we just
But to take you a little bit of the process before we kind of get ahead of so this was May 11th. We contacted our good friend, Sean Alexander Crawford, who is an amazing writer, and he's worked on all of our projects with us. And we were like, okay, if we kind of put all this together, like, can you help us build kind of like a scriptment is what we do with him.
Like a treatment.
We give the point forms of like, this is a story, and this and this and this happens, and this is everything that goes on.
Insert this poem here.
He takes it and gives like a skeleton of the breakdown, where he's a little more technical minded about like, okay, and in this act, this has to happen, and then this action has to happen here. So he helps us kind of organize it that way, and he sent it back to us, and we were able to do that between the two of us, I think or the three of us, in like 2 weeks time. So he sends that back. Kat and I had, I think, a couple weeks. So this is like early June, and we're like, hey, now we have to sit in and write this thing. I went through all of our poems and songs. We each selected our favorite poems or songs or things that we thought were relevant to us
for
our story.
Our experience of coming home.
And then we figured out throughout the storyline, where do we put these poems in? Where do they kind of make sense? And where we can like navigate this through line. And so we took, I think, 2 weeks in June. I think I sat on a patio.
She was house sitting waiting for our older sisters.
So we weren't,
even together.
We were doing this like online. I think I sat on my sister's patio and drank tons of spiked iced teas, which I've never drinking in my life, but they were there, and I was like, okay, this is my juice to like my creative juice to keep writing.
And we just sat. We both just picked off different scenes.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, so we're saying we used that time, then a couple weeks to write it, but all that poetry and all those songs we had been writing
over
for the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
So without knowing it, we were writing this project for a while.
Yeah, our lifeblood is poured into this project. Our life journey, our real story,
all of our jade juice.
All of our juice.
Our pussy juice. That'll be in the next episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's been rearranged. You'll get it. You'll get it next week.
I wanted to say we served some cunt earlier, and then I was like, oh wait, no, that's next week's episode.
Yes.
Anyway, let's
not get it then.
Give us a little taster for what's to come next week.
Ooh, interesting. Just a little amuse-bouche.
So then after this, we had another gentleman who was like, who had told us in the past, like, if you ever want to do something, I'm somewhat local. I can help film. We can work on a project, and we reached out and we're like, okay, listen, we got something. Do you think this is possible? Can we do a feature film with $20,000? Can you come on board to do this with us? And
can we do it by the end of summer?
And he was all like, yeah, absolutely, let's do that. Then he kind of changed his mind. We originally were under the impression he would film, but then he was like, oh no, I don't usually do the filming. We'd have to hire someone else.
Sent us an outrageous,
like $90,000
large budget. It was more than that.
It was like 90 something.
With the idea of hiring all of his best male friends to juice up their pay and this was come on board.
This was a stomach ache. And we were like, okay, we thought this was possible, and now this person is like this. No, it's going to cost an exorbitant amount. Yeah. You're not telling us we're the directors and it's our money, but you're kind of cuckolding us from the information.
Yeah. We repeatedly wanted to know who was going to be behind the camera because anyone who has watched the film or will watch the film, it's a very personal piece. It discusses some very intimate and vulnerable experiences of womanhood and our personal experience. There's some nudity, and we need to know who's going to be behind the camera, who's going to be literally in our bathroom with us filming certain scenes.
I know this is a big part of the story because this is where a testament to faith comes in. We had this man and we had and we're like, do we need someone else? Our entire career, we were always bringing other people, hiring someone else to come on board. We're like, we need their experience. We need their input.
We need their credibility.
A lot of times it was men with the camera, hiring them on board, giving them the credit of director, even though they didn't do any of the work of the director. They showed up with their camera. But we're like, well, we need them, so we'll do all the work and give them the credit.
We'll concede. We'll do everything.
And so this moment was a turning point for us. We were already being very daring and like, this is terrifying. Do we do it? Do we invest our money into this?
Yeah.
Can we do it? Will we be able to show up on the day and do this, give this the justice that we think we can?
We were in the car on the way back from Cottam, from doing a recording session for the music we discussed earlier. We were like, I feel like to do this project well, to do it the way we want to do it, we have to do this alone. We cannot rely on someone else, even if it feels safer to have someone on board. And that is the first time that I looked at you and said, is no an option? Are we done here? Is this it? And you said no. And you said, we're moving forward and we're making that call. We're moving forward on our own.
That was the first moment of us, though, truly stepping into integrity, because apart from that, it was also... We are very big advocates of hiring and working with females in the key roles behind the camera as well. And
if you're
that was
changing the statistics, then you're reiterating the problem.
And so we were like, okay, well, that just fires us up. Let's go do the work. Let's put postings out. Let's contact everyone we know, and let's find women to work with. Yeah. Let's find women that we can hire. Let's find a woman to be behind the camera, and if we're going to do this, let's do it right. Let's stay true to our words.
Let's walk the walk of what we're
talking. Let's stay in integrity. And I
mean, we'll tell you, it was difficult because we put an ad out on some sites where you can find different creatives locally, right? And we got, out of, let's say 100 submissions, only 3 women, okay? Now, let's remember, this is our first feature. We have a very minimal budget. We're super stressed out. A lot of the resumes that came through, even though we said we were looking for women specifically, were males. They had very juicy resumes. Most of them came with their own equipment. They had done feature films before. Cameras. They had their own teams of crew members that they worked with. That would have made our lives a lot easier logistically, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have to think about equipment. I don't have to think about what they're doing, their experience. They've worked together before. wipe my hands. I can just focus on directing and acting and make sure this project is good. However, those 3 women that came through, none of them had worked on a feature film before. They didn't have their own equipment. They had minimal experience, but they were so passionate in their responses.
They were like, I'll sleep on the floor. I just need this shot.
I will come.
I need this chance.
Agreeing to make next to, like, offering to make next to nothing so they could finally get that opportunity to sink their teeth into their first feature film.
I can't stress enough, this film is a true underdog story of people who are like, I need my shot. I'm not getting the opportunities.
Yeah.
I need my shot. I'm not getting the opportunities. How do we come together and like make our dreams come true for all of us if we pour all of our passion and love and time and energy and we come together and we build something beautiful and we make it in an atmosphere that's beautiful and supportive? Can we do it?
And it was a true testament in seeing that of like, you know, when we think about why women aren't getting hired in those key positions, like as cinematographer behind camera, and a lot of people looking through those resumes would say, well, no, it had nothing to do with their gender, but this person had this much more experience and had their own equipment. Okay, why? That man has gotten way more opportunity, and because he's gotten opportunity, has been able to build his resume, to build his gear kit, to build that credibility for himself. Why are these 3 women so far behind? Not because they didn't go to great film schools, not because they're not passionate, not because they're not working hard in the industry.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to get that opportunity. You need one opportunity to be able to to be able to get that credibility, to then be able to get hired more frequently, to build that gear kit, to get people feeling more confident with you. And we knew if we don't give one of these women a shot, that means they're going to keep floundering, trying to find that opportunity for their first feature, much like ourselves as female directors and writers, not finding our opportunity to get to sink our teeth into our first feature because it is systematically more difficult to be taken seriously and be given that big opportunity as a woman, despite having the same credentials as our male counterparts.
Yeah.
So we knew, first of all, passion is everything to us. We found a woman from Ottawa who was willing to stay in our home with us, and she found a place to rent equipment. We ended up getting the red Komodo, a beautiful camera, which is usually much more expensive than we were allotted, and she found us a deal.
But by taking the chance on her, we ended up getting a great deal.
She found a place.
They wanted to support a first-time female filmmaker, and so they were like, let's give you a big discount so you have the best equipment to go out and do your best job to hopefully garner you more work in the future.
Yeah, like how kismet is that, right? So we took our chance on ourselves, being first-time directors and producers of a feature film. We took a chance on her, never having done a feature before. That place took a chance on a new artist doing their first feature as well and gave us an obscenely beautiful discount.
Oh, to be clear, she had worked on feature films before, but as like first and second camera assistant. She had just never done
We're talking about the coveted position of a cinematographer, right? You're organizing the team. You're the main person behind the camera. So she knew what she was doing. We had a great crew. We had we hired specifically. We met with people. We found some incredible local talent, particularly young local talent, young females.
People who grew up in our small town and then had gone to school in the bigger cities, and we're back just for that summer, and we're like, wait a minute, I never thought I'd be able to work on a film in my hometown. What is this?
Much
happening?
like we didn't, right?
Yeah.
So it was really like full circle and very beautiful to be able to not only sink our teeth into our dream right here in our hometown after thinking we had to go everywhere else to imagine that dream, and then also being able to provide that opportunity for other incredible artists and creatives locally who thought the same. They'd have to go elsewhere.
Realistically, I want to stress like this experience. So we got this notice of not getting the funding we wanted for our other film. I think it was like May 11th. From May 11th to June to middle of June, we figured out the story, wrote the script. From middle of June to middle of July, we did calling, getting like all the production stuff, getting the people in place, getting the cast, getting
hiring,
the crew,
locations,
locations, figuring out, doing all of the paperwork behind the scenes, getting everything ready.
The contracts.
Middle of August, we went to camera. This is 3 months. And I want to preface this by being like, it wasn't like this fairy tale. We thought of this idea and we figured it out. We took a leap and then we just did it. It's like, it was a lot of hard work.
Still doing real estate, our day job.
We're doing our day job, doing production all day, organizing everything all day, doing all the paperwork, getting even like the tediousness of like call sheets, a production break, a schedule, like plotting and planning, doing it all so that we can communicate with everyone involved what's going on in our head. So we have like a nice, concise, well organized and professional set. This is a matter of 2 2 months time we did this. 2 months time we made this all happen so that the middle of August we could go to camera and bring this story to life.
And honestly, it was terrifying. So the day up, let's remember that, on the shoot day, not only are we directing, but we're also producers. So we're making sure everyone else is doing their jobs. We are the stars, right? We've written it for ourselves and the writers. So we're making sure the script is flowing and everything's on time. We are craft services, making sure everyone has food.
Like, we finish a full day on, we're the first ones to get up, to get the set and everything going, to plan the breakfast. At the end of the day, we're then prepping for the next day. We were continuity. We
were wardrobe. We had to make sure us and our parents, because when you film a movie, you don't necessarily go in order of like, oh, this is how the film starts, and we film every scene in order, right? There's jumping back and forth based on what location you're in and how the lighting's already set up.
We had little duotangs per person of like, and I think we had like 30 wardrobe changes or something per person. Like, if you watch the film, when you watch the film,
characters, us and our parents, we had all these wardrobe changes, and we were responsible to make sure that like we were going back to the books to being like, what scene, what outfit was,
and
in
how
which
was
scene,
my hair done that day, and what ring was I wearing in that scene? So I'm sure you can imagine, like, I don't know if people always realize all the work and the intricacies that go into bringing a film to life. And why
crews are typically so large when you actually go to a film set.
Because there's so
many pieces.
A lot of hands focused on different little details to make sure that no mistakes are made or that you have a full cohesive story at the end of it.
And I think, honestly, that morning of, we were both like, this has been our dream. This has been something we've always wanted to do. But you don't know until you actually get there. Can I fucking do it?
Terrifying.
Can I do it?
Yeah. Are we going to be good at this?
Right? The first scene, right away, we were like, no, this is what we were made to do.
Not only can we do it, but like, it feels good. It feels right.
It feels like breathing.
This is where we're supposed to be.
And it was a super stressful, what was it, 12 days?
14 days.
14 days with trailer reconstruction on the weekend.
This trailer was gutted. We filmed 5 days. Did reconstruction on the trailer for 2 days. Filmed 5 days, did reconstruction on the trailer a few days. Also, some of those days, it was like, we started filming at 9 a.m. So at 7 a.m., Kat and I were out packing insulation into the trailer walls.
It can't be cheated, because the first day of filming, you see the trailer empty and gutted.
And
the last day of filming, you see the trailer fully put together. So within those days, those 2 weekends, all of that work had to be done.
And we had our beautiful friend of ours, Steve Thompson, who is in construction.
He has his own company,
carpentry, and he signed up. He plays the builder in the film, but he also signed up to, like, oh my God, take on that project and
show up while we were out filming other things to start putting the walls together.
I mean, we were able to call in a favor because we had sold this house a couple months before that, so we did a lot of like painting and helping around the house.
We helped him prepare for selling.
And that's one of the things to note too, was like, you have to call in all the favors. It's
our
like,
brother is an electrician, so he came also and did all the hookups and everything for the trailer, so it would have the right lighting and to because you want to use it after too.
I mean,
right?
we did pay him.
Not only
so it wasn't that one wasn't necessarily.
Not only
a
did
favor,
that trailer have to look done, but she does also plan to use it for vacationing and things, right?
Yeah.
So it had to be done fully and properly during that time. Like, electric hookups had to be
talk about
installed.
stressful.
I know.
3 weeks of a lot of stress.
Very stressful, but it was also so fucking liberating and exhilarating.
I remember on the last day, so also just to like throw another wrench in the plan. And there was things along the way, like the people didn't send us the proper card reader. So we got to the end of the first day of filming and we have all this giant storage because it's the red.
To put it. Yeah.
And we're like, our card's full and we don't have the proper card reader. So like, how are we going to be able to film tomorrow? We don't have an extra card for this, our cards are full. Figured that out. There was like little things, but on the last day of filming. We figured that out
because all of our crew members, our small skeleton crew, were willing to wear multiple hats and do basically anything that was necessary.
The wonderful
Jasmine
doing our
Fung
makeup was like, I'll drive to London to go to Henry's and go get another.
Our makeup artist became our PA, essentially, our producer's assistant, and whatever we needed, or she was monitoring the dogs.
Like sitting outside with the dogs so they didn't bark because they were alone. So
she did it all.
Indoors. So it really was just like all hands on deck to make it happen. And you got to bring the right passionate people together to make that go the way that you need it. on our last day, so we finish wrapping up, and we're like, our cinematographer had to like go back the next morning because she had to get back for work. And of course, a storm rolls in right as we're finishing, so the power goes out. So we're unable to offload all of the storage onto our hard drive that she can take with her, so that like we have a copy of the project and she has a copy of the project. So she ends up having to take it all with her. So
we had to let her take our little baby. We've all created together, but you know, any filmmaker knows like the most imperative thing is that you make sure you have that footage backed up before anything else.
We normally would have been able to like watch all the footage of our film and make our notes and cue what takes we prefer and where we like them. We had to do a huge leap of faith of being like, okay, I guess you start working on it in Ottawa. And so not only was it stress inducing of like, we just filmed this and now I have no idea. Do we have a film? Does the film look good? Are we happy with it? Like, we had to sit in this limbo until we were able to take a trip to Ottawa and work on it with her, which also costs more money in the end. And then it costs more money to bring her back here to finish up all the editing together.
A test of faith and the ultimate act of surrender and trusting that if you feel... We listen to our pussies, okay? If you feel something is right, you listen to all your hunches and you just take the next step. Yeah. It's going to come together.
Oh, we forgot to say, too, a big thing of like, as a director, usually there is a monitor on screen. So you can watch back the scene that was just done, play it back, see if you like it, see if there's anything that needs to be changed.
See if the boom pole's in the shot and no one realized.
They didn't send us our monitor when they sent us our equipment, and the funds were empty, and we were like, you know what, I think for like body positivity and confidence,
it's probably for the best.
It's probably best that we
can't watch ourselves like, oh, I look fat in that angle.
I don't want to be able to go and retake scenes. Like, we're gonna trust how we feel when we're in the scene and we're feeling it and the connection to the other actors.
If it felt true, if it felt authentic,
we're gonna go with it.
We got all the lines out,
and if camera told us they were good and they were confident, like we're going
which
ahead.
Is another like, you have to have the right team for that level of trust and faith in each other. And we did.
But I think a big thing that helped us navigate any time there was, and we had this discussion before we went in. We're like, one, we can't have any nasty sister fights on set. No one will take us seriously. It's unprofessional. So keep us in line.
Memory card.
It's fine. But sorry, just making sure our camera's not going to shut off on us. Sorry. Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying, Kat.
Sister fights.
Every time it came up, speaking of no sister fights, every time a problem came up, we immediately were like, don't even think about the problem. What do? List as many possible solutions as you can think to that problem. Which one do you think is the best?
What is the best
one? Pick the best one and move forward. It's like, there is no time. In the film industry, time is money.
Time is money, and we did not have extra.
It was such a life lesson, though, too.
It was.
Like, don't focus on the problem. You can't change the problem. Think of the solutions, pick the best one, and move forward because you got to.
Yeah. And so, at the end of this very stressful process, we now have a beautiful feature-length film that has half of it is beautiful visual vignettes set to our personal poetry, and it has an all-original soundtrack, which you can find on Spotify.
Yes, you can.
It is out in the ethers to be listened to and enjoyed. Yeah. And we have this beautiful collection of poems called The Blackbird. Now, the film takes small excerpts from different poems we've written, and this has the extended version with some stills, some visuals from the film. So it's a nice little, like, coffee table book, called The Blackbird. It is available online.
Yeah, you can find that. And I wanted to take a moment to kind of, as we're wrapping up our story, of like, the reason why we feel so impassioned to share it is just, it's never too late in life. There is always time to change your course, change your path. When someone tells you something is impossible, no. Yeah. There are ways. You can find a way around it. And also having the audacity to stand in integrity in your life. If no is not an answer, find a way to make your yes
Anyone
happen.
Who told us you can't do that.
Yeah.
We said, no, you maybe can't do that.
And I want to pick up your books.
Yeah.
We took that
after this film.
Was the first. This film was the first time of us being like, I'm done accepting less in my life. Yeah. I know what I want. I'm done waiting for permission. There are ways to be resourceful and to go out and get it, and we are going to get it.
I want to be a director. I want to be a filmmaker. I'm going to stop saying I want to and wait for someone else to give me permission, and I'm damn well going to do it. I'm going to become it. I am now a filmmaker. I am a director.
The film. We shared our poems. We shared our stories. We stayed true to our themes. We stayed true to our intentions of hiring women behind the camera. We found a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
We published.
We said,
our
I want to be
poetry
published
books.
poets. Well, guess what? We are not only with the film collection, but we each have 2 independent collections as well. It's claiming the things you want to become.
Being bold,
That's why mine is
being
called
brave,
Becoming.
standing in integrity. Oh yeah, mine's a woman who made herself her muse.
It's saying, I'm not waiting for permission. I'm going to determine who and what I want to be in this world, and I'm going to take the steps. I'm going to keep saying yes and taking the steps to become it, so I
even
can
if
live fully.
Even if you are not a filmmaker and you're not in the film world in any way, shape, or form, it's not about that. It's about living in integrity, living a passion and purpose-filled life, never taking no for an answer, finding a way to like hold on to your passion and believe in yourself and like resourcefully figure out a way to bring it to life.
Listen to your pussy and follow her hunches, okay? Yeah. She doesn't lie. She will guide you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Go all in on yourself.
Yeah. I hope you feel impassioned and inspired to go out and do some badass shit.
Absolutely. And we hope, if you haven't seen it yet, on May 13th, you might find our film on a streaming platform. We will update you as to which ones it'll be available. Please go check it out.
Yeah, we will
send us your feedback.
We will send updates on our social media, Sister Strain, on Instagram, sisterstrain.com as our website, and we will try and post wherever we can resources of where to find it, how to watch it. Please watch if you want to watch very passion-filled, purely Canadian, indie
empowerment
that promotes women both on and off screen and telling stories of underrepresented voices in the media. Then please go watch
Call of the Blackbird.
Call of the Blackbird.
You've been listening to The Sister Strain.
If you've got something you'd like to share with us, reach out to us. Contact@sisterstrain.com.
Yours in sistership, The Sister Strain.